Hi hookers. Okay, I'm going to show you how to attach straps. I'm going to show you on this yarn tape bag that that I made, and you know there's a big pattern for this with a tutorial on my YouTube channel. Anyway, here's how you do that. This can go for any material too. Rope, yarn, cotton yarn, small, thick yarns, doesn't matter. So what you're going to do is you're going to get stitch markers. I buy these on Amazon. They're awesome. And you'll see that you use them a lot. And yeah, they're great. So you're going to use stitch markers. You're going to use a tapestry needle that has a bend. And then, of course, just some thread. I want to match it to the thread that I'm using. This is yarn tape. I think I said that. Oop, 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 from Lion Brand. Okay, what I do is I take the stitch markers first, and I go ahead and on the inside of the bag, I just mark it exactly where I want the strap to be. Now, the second side is easier because I use the first side as a guide. So these are in, and these are in. You see, they're just right exactly placed where I want them on the back, okay? Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tapestry needle and I'm going to thread the yarn onto it, and I'm not going to knot it, okay? And what I'm going to do, I drew you a little example, is I'm actually making like a square, or really I'd say a rectangle, whatever, depends on the size of your strap. And I'm doing that with the stitches. So I hang on here, right? And I'm working on the inside primarily. And I take my needle and I get under some of the yarn and onto the strap. I leave about 2.5-ish inches so that I can weave that in at the end. And then I'm just making the shape of that rectangle. And I'm just whip stitching from the inside of the bag. It doesn't matter, it's not going to show one bit, onto the strap. And I just kind of skip right over where my stitch marker is. And I just make my way into these stitches. The shape I'm making is like a little rectangle, because that's going to be the strongest way to hold everything. So I just went across. Now I'm going to go up a little bit. And by the way, I can poke right through to the front of the bag, and I'm going to show you in a second. It doesn't show one bit. You wouldn't know, you wouldn't see it. The reason why the square is important is because this last part here, or I shouldn't say the last, the second to last part, where I'm going across, is important, because if not, your strap kind of flips and flops around there, and we don't want that. And when I'm doing that line there, I usually go right through the bag to the front. See? Come up, I go right back down, come up, and it's basically just a running stitch across. And I do the same right there, okay? Now, I've attached the strap. I've got one more little line for my little rectangle I'm making. So it's just a few entries in and out. And now I'm right back to where I started the whole process from. Okay, and when I get there, I just lock it all in. Okay, so I've made that square shape. I take out my stitch marker. Before I do anything else, I make sure I like it, because I can always take it out right now. It's super easy, but I like it a lot. And then, you know, usually what I'll do is I'll just kind of do a couple more, just lock in, sort of, this is the weaving in, like the weave in ends. And I just kind of lock it in tight. Now that I know, I can pull it all tight. I like where it is. And that's it. So I'm just going to secure it with a couple, you know, weaving in and out, a couple stitches in and out, and then I clip it, and then I weave in this end here, and that's it. I'm nice and secure and onto my bag. And then of course I'm going to go ahead and do the 3 other sides of the strap onto the bag. And that's it. Critical to have those, not critical like serious, but important to use those stitch markers. If not, it kind of gets a little wonky. That's okay too. Gotta go. Bye.